Everybody get up.
Tell me, what is that?
That's a block.
An amoeba.
A boulder. Think, okay, wait. Think less literally and more. Think more.
Potato.
Okay. Potato head. Okay. So, okay, the universe is getting closer. What? Can we turn off those phones, kids? Okay. So, let's think about this. This is your mind. Okay? Now, I'm off, or we can talk about it as consciousness, which is actually non-locality, so it can't really be placed somewhere. But oftentimes I'm always talking about right brain, left brain stuff, which I guess I'm going to refer to, but for a minute here, I just want you to think about it as consciousness, which is like wide open space. Wide open space, that's what we are. We're pure mind, clear mind, Buddha mind, peace mind. And if you think of the word wide open space, what other adjectives come to you when you think wide open space? Clear, freedom, sexy chicks. What was that?
Chicks.
What? Dixie chicks. Oh shit. Okay, Dixie chicks, sexy chicks. What up? Unlimited. So we'll write potential. This is hard. I never have worked on a chalkboard before. That's terrible. What else?
Infinite.
Infinite, expanse. How about possibility? Okay, right? Whatever you spell it. Okay. Look it. I know how to spell. I wrote a book. Okay. So, all right, possibility. All right. So here's the thing. As you all know, well, you may not know, this is who we all are. This is the potential of the mind. Now, you don't feel that way sometimes because there's this, think of it this way. It's like a switchboard circuitry. That's what we've got going on in the left brain part. It's circuitry that is engaged emotionally, and it does itself. It's like a switchboard. And if we can try to get out of the emotion of it and look at it objectively, then you can have a little bit more control of your own experience in life. There is a way to have peace and equanimity and stillness and not get triggered. But see, what happens when we get triggered, it's like this, right? It's like, I don't know, biofeedback, or like a scrambled signal. That's good. Scrambled signal, right? This white noise that you get when you turn on the TV with those rabbit ears and all you get is like, right, static, okay? This is what happens when we get triggered. So let me tell you a little story that made me think about this. I went for a run this weekend up on Runyon Canyon, and I was getting to the top, and it was really hard, and I was wearing, that's beside the point, this is not a lecture on exercise, but I was really running hard, and I was wearing a shirt that said Arizona. Now, I don't know what that means, I just assumed it's the state, but obviously not. It has to do with a team of some sort, right? Now, I have no allegiances to any teams. I mean, it could have said Arizona ice skating, as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, my allegiance is to synchronized swimming. I don't know anything about sports, but I think Arizona is a big... What's in Arizona? Wildcats, okay, because it was the college one. Anyway, so I was running up the mountain, and I say hi to people all the time, whatever. And this guy and this girl were walking, and I said hi to them, and he went, yeah! And I was thrown off, partly because I had just recovered getting to the top. But here's the thing. So immediately, I got triggered in all this stuff, and I thought, that's weird. And then a nanosecond later, I had enough clarity to realize, oh, look at that. That is the negative circuitry. The switchboard is just doing its stuff on automatic pilot. Here I have a very strong judgment about somebody who is actually trying to make a connection with me. He did it in his own way through sport, but we were having a human contact. But our neural circuitry finds a negative interpretation of things that occur to us on a daily basis. Generally, you experience them in life as annoyances, grievances, things that, are, I wrote down a couple other words, irritations, complaints. You're stuck in traffic and you're like, right? That kind of ongoing buzz that's occurring. So I had the trigger, and then I laughed about it because I realized that that happen. And then I cursed myself for being so negative about it, which is also not good because all those things start to pull you down a rabbit hole. And then what I just did for myself is I just blessed the moment and was gentle with myself, and I blessed him and I blessed myself, and I moved on, and I was like, oh, this is a great lesson. So here's the insight, people. You're going to get triggered in all... This was an innocuous interaction with somebody. There was no conflict. There was nothing really going on. And yet, look at the habituated response. Still interpret things negatively. You see what I'm saying? It takes a little bit of awareness to get out of this stuff, this biofeedback. When I'm here, I don't have access to that. And as you look at your own life, when you're in more heated conflict, you're in stressful situations, you're with people that trigger you or evoke stuff, we often get buried in this. As Barbara and I were talking, she was going through something yesterday and she was saying like, oh my God, I got stuck in the feedback loop. And sometimes we don't have, she was asking, well, how do I have access to get out of it? Well, I'm always finding different ways. The first way is always recognizing when you're stuck in it, because that doesn't give you access to the thing. You guys, all human beings on the planet, we're going for the same thing. We all want peace. We all want equanimity. We all want these moments of space where we're not feeling the constant churning of this neural noise. And you know what? You have access to it. You have control over it. It seems just the opposite, that it's running on its own programming network. If you can step outside of the emotionality of it, then you can have some governance over it. So, here's a simple way. One way, I'm always talking about, just breathe. Just the breath is going to give you access to something else. Another way is, in the moment, I mean, again, this was not a heated exchange, but I could have also just mindfully said, I choose to just let that go. Another way is, I'm okay. Another way is just forgiving. That's not just semantics, and that's not just words. It's a way of rebooting something else besides the constant neurological going back and forth of something that you get stuck in. All it just takes is a little bit of awareness of getting triggered and then correcting the trigger. Because as I'm always saying, you know, which do you want? You can be right or you can be happy. I think that bears a lot of thinking about this week. You can be right or you can be happy. So many times we stay in our righteousness, which stimulates this neural circuitry, but is actually causing you to not be where you want to be. In joy, in peace, in this space of potential. So I just want you to look this week how easily you, like all humanity, gets triggered unconsciously. If you can just be a little bit more awake, it won't take you down the rabbit hole, and you won't be stuck there for 2 hours, letting it pull you into all these other directions that ultimately make you depressed and upset about your state of being. Exactly. Okay. So see, that could be a minor grievance, an irritant, very annoying, or you can choose, oh, I'm just going to bless him. Some of you who don't study here don't know, but we deal with detention cafe all the time. And at some point, it's not worth allowing myself to get disrupted from the place that we're all going for.